The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, as we are now 20 minutes before the top of the 11 o'clock hour, which is time for our show Roundout, as we continue on here with the AM Ocala Live, as we had a good show for you this Tuesday, a real good show. Started out with Marion County Public Schools, and then we talked to Galen Life South Community Blood Centers, and then after that we had the interview with the founder of the Boston Boston Beer Company and the brewer of Sam Adams Beer, as we were talking with some of the community stuff that they've done with COVID-19 and everything else. As that was a little treat for me. I always found it interesting what that gentleman did to jump off the cuff there in 1984, founded the company and used his great-grandfather's recipe and revolutionized the beer industry, as we talked to him a little bit. That was a fun little interview. And then at 9 o'clock, of course, we had In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, as we talked about a lot of things in lieu of the weather that came through yesterday. And then we had Matt Gibbs, just now, Sunrise Automotive, as we were talking a little bit in what has gone on with the community and some of the stuff that has just been kind of neat in perspective of how everybody's dealing with, of course, COVID-19 and some different ideas and with it. Which now, as we look to round out the show a little bit, we got some fun stuff to talk about here as we move forward there yesterday, as a little news attacks. It said well, I'd say when this one's kind of neat here. It says, when she says, don't get me anything. It says here, Mother's Day is in May, and will you get your mom or your wife a gift even if she says, don't get me anything? It says, what about her birthday or Valentine's Day? It says here that a survey finds that even if a wife or girlfriend says, quote, don't get me anything, 88% of men will ignore her wishes and get her something anyway. And that's a good idea, considering that since women in the survey said even though they said they didn't want anything, 63% still expect some kind of small gift, which is just crazy in general, just to think about overall when most women are being modest to the idea when they say, don't get me anything. But 63% of those women still find it to be 63% still expect some kind of small gift. And that's a given, gentlemen. And when you know that she says, nah, don't worry about it, don't get me anything, it's worth the value of getting a little something. She just took the pressure off of getting anything big. And it's good to hear that 88% of men will ignore those don't get me anything wishes and still get her something anyway. So that's actually a good number in the survey as such. That's pretty neat. Now here's a wacky but true. It says a phone thief was busted when the device was called. It says in Nigeria, a woman was nabbed by a restaurant customer who said he saw her steal a phone from another diner. Police quizzed the woman without success and were about to let her go when someone suggested they just call the phone. After dialing the number, they heard a sound coming from underneath the woman's clothes and realized that she did and was lying the whole time, and they took her to jail. Interesting. In those of watching some television here, as it's kind of interesting, they said this premiered yesterday. This was kind of neat. It was for those who are fans of the 90 Day Fiancé, which is the premise is just like it sounds. It's two people who known each other for 90 days decide whether or not to marry each other. And what's interesting, as the COVID-19 pandemic spreads, the 90 Day Fiancé premiered last night with a self-quarantined episode. our concept. It says 90-day fiancé couples have been living under self-quarantine with no producers and no crew. They recorded their daily lives on their own for this new part of the series. So those who are fans of the 90-Day Fiancé, now you get to see a more grounded, anything less scripted completely, with having the folks at home seeing how they're dealing with having them actually record it themselves. And that's kind of interesting in itself. It's kind of interesting here, too, playing on the idea of entertainment. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher announced a quarantine-themed wine. It says Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have announced the launch of a new quarantine-themed wine they are selling to raise money for COVID-19 relief efforts. They will be donating 100% of whatever it takes they make, 100% of whatever they make from the wine to charities and organizations that are helping fight against the coronavirus pandemic. That's kind of interesting. Tuesday with April 21st. There's a few birthdays here. As we mentioned, I'm going to build up to the one that's kind of neat. But today, Tuesday, April 21st, Tony Danza. His birthday is today, as he is 69 years old, best known from the show Who's the Boss, as that aired when I was a kid back in the late 80s, early 90s. Old Tony Danza, 69 years old. Andy McDowell is 62 years old today, April 21st, and James McAvoy is 41. And for the kicker, today is Queen Elizabeth II. It's her birthday, as she reaches the ripe young age of 94 years young. So today, April 21st, is Queen Elizabeth II. For Queen and Country, James. She is 94 years old today. Man, that's incredible. 94 years old. Wow. What a timeline. What a timeline. That's incredible. Not to mention just how many characters she's seen in her lifetime. How many different actors play James Bond and how long that's been running. News attacks, it says here, obesity is the leading reason young Americans are rejected for military service. The Army, desperate for new soldiers, is looking into the idea of how recruits are actually turned away due to being obese, knowing that they won't probably make it through the boot camp and all that crazy stuff that they do within the training. That obesity is the leading reason why young Americans are rejected for military service. It's something incredible. Here's an easier way to make 9 new friends. It says the easiest way to make 9 new friends, they say, have a baby. A study found a woman's circle of friends shoots from 13 to 22 after having children. Why, you might ask, is it's easier to bond with other women once they have a baby. So the idea is that the single Sex in the City lifestyle goes by the wayside when a woman who's married has a kid, and the friend circle starts to dissipate a little bit. But to keep your friends around is if you all have kids, you got something to talk about there. It's nonetheless interesting. We're going to take a short little break, and when we come back, we'll round it out. We got a little bit more interesting survey, interesting news attacks, and wacky but trues to talk about. You're listening to 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source. We'll be back right after this.
Casting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hey everybody, join me, Adam Mikulin, for AM Ocala Live on April 22nd at 10 o'clock a.m. with our special guest, Higher Education, and speakers, Dr. Jennifer Frines, Associate VP of Career and Professional Programs, and Dr. Rob Wolf, Dean of Business, Technology, and Career and Technical Education, as we tackle the topic of retooling and preparing for the workforce. Again, that's April 22nd at 10 o'clock a.m. right here on 96.3 FM, 1370 a.m., The Source.
Pals Ocala Auto Repair fixes all makes and models. Pals makes sure that your vehicle's engine, mechanical, and electrical components are healthy at all times. Pals team would much rather see you drive to their shop for a full checkup than be towed in for a complex repair. Give Pals a call today to schedule your next service appointment. 352-414-2984. What? A nationwide warranty, 36 months or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first? Pals looks forward to servicing you and servicing your vehicle. 352-414-2984.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Howdy, folks. RL here to tell you about Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen Silver Springs has been serving yummy foods and ice cream made fresh to order for 46 years. Their gift cards are perfect for those you love for any occasion. Our ice cream cakes are awesome. And as far as grilled foods, DQ does it right. From grilled chicken to our famous foot-long chili dogs. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Mostly sunny today with low humidity, high 87 to 93. For tonight, turning out to be partly cloudy, low 61 to 67. Sunny to partly cloudy for tomorrow, high 90 to 92. Then a partly cloudy night with a low 68 to 72. Sun in areas of high clouds throughout the day Thursday, warm with a high 92 to 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Kevin Snyder.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368. WOCA. Ocala.
You're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. As we're rounding out our show here, AM Ocala Live on this Tuesday, April 21st. As we say, stay tuned for tomorrow. as we have a good show for you for Wednesday, as we'll have higher education, as you've heard from the ad, to talk a little higher education about the idea of getting ready to return to the workforce when we get through all this stuff and the expectations of what it'll mean to get back to a full work day of regular normalcy when that happens. So stay tuned. We'll have that going on, and as well as some good conversation to bring up with some stuff that always goes on, as we'll be talking again with Galen, and then be doing our news bits, and then talking with higher education, as we said. And we'll be making our way through this week, like I keep saying, and it feels like, and the reason I say all that all the time is just to get ourselves through it so we can get back to, I always say normalcy, but just something that's a little bit more familiar, if you will. And it feels like that's been the point of April, is just to kind of get through it the best we can, and then adapting to those things informationally as we find them and everything else and so forth. So every day, just one step further to getting through it. And as with that, we've got a beautiful weather day to do it, as we got a high of 85 today with mostly sunny skies, and that'll be carrying on into tomorrow as well. And for those who experienced quite a bit of the weather yesterday morning with the wind and the rain, and even a tornado that touched down there within the area of Marion County, as it's, one of those times a year where it feels like everywhere in the country it's crazy winds that come through as it comes in like a lion. But nonetheless, we got some beautiful days today and tomorrow to appreciate. And with that, now Thursday, they've changed and adapted the forecast just a little bit with the expectations of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. with some mostly cloudy skies. That'll be increasing cloudiness Wednesday night to get us cloudier skies on Thursday, with a possibility of a chance of shower thunderstorm on Thursday afternoon, as that is a little bit more light when it gets into Thursday night, 50% chance, and they just increased the chance of rain for Friday. So we still got some rain for this week, and the idea of having that come through a little bit later in the week. But then that leaves us for the chance of showers and thunderstorms into the weekend, as we've got a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday, high near 87, and then Sunday a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 85, as we can expect that to kind of carry into to the weekend from what we have later in the week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So there you go. But to enjoy these next 2 days, because it's beautiful, and it's going to get a little chillier tonight, as they're expecting the low in the 50s, in the upper 50s. So that's pretty good, and keep that window open, and it'll cool off real nice. As we were mentioning some more fun stuff there, that it was Queen Elizabeth II. It was her birthday today, April 21st, as she turns 94 years old. Which is incredible. And with that, I actually was able to catch a couple of old James Bond movies on last night that they covered The Spy Who Loved Me and For Your Eyes Only, with good old Roger Moore, carrying in from 1977 with The Spy Who Loved Me into 1981 with For Your Eyes Only, which was interesting. Classics that I remember when I was a kid watching that, so it was kind of neat. Moving on here, it says men dent cars and then lie about it to their wives. It says a lot of husbands like to think they're better drivers than their wives. A lot of wives like to think that they're better drivers than their husbands. So what do they tell each other when they do something wrong in the car? Apparently not much. It says about 1,000 husbands and wives were surveyed about what they do and don't do to tell their spouse when it comes to damaging the family cars or little illegal driving mishaps and shenanigans. It says here about 42% of men ding a car and then blame it on somebody else, compared to 27% of women. Now, I remember growing up that it was always when my dad washed the car or ended up driving it, and he always noticed something that happened that he would question my mom about. Well, where'd this come from? Oh, I don't know. Did somebody hit you in the parking lot to ding the door, or did you ding the door? I don't know. I think it was the other way around in my family when it was my mom who probably didn't divulge much information when there is maybe a ding in the family car. As they said, compared to the other, percent of women where only 20, well, it says 20%, she was part of the 20% that blames it on something else, which is kind of interesting nonetheless. As we come to the top of the 11 o'clock hour here, one more for you is a little wacky but true. As a burglar falls asleep in a bar, it says police in Spain arrested a burglary suspect accused of breaking into a bar. He was easy to catch because once he was in the bar, he got drunk, so drunk that he fell asleep on the couch in the bar. Yeah, maybe that's just it. He just wanted to get in there and just have a couple drinks. But as it says, let's go crazy. The Grammy salute to Prince. It says here that on TV as Maya Rudolph hosts and also performs. It says in the tribute concert that celebrates Prince on the 4-year anniversary of his passing, artists performing hits from Prince's catalog, including Beck, Gary Clark Jr., Common, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Foo Fighters, Vallejo Native, John Legend, Chris Martin, Morris Day, all in expectation for tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern on CBS. So with that, as we just got about 30 seconds or left, that's our show for today, folks. Thank you for listening. Tuesday here. As it was a good show for you this Tuesday. We got a good show for you tomorrow, so stay tuned. And thank you, everybody, for listening to AM Ocala Live. Stay safe out there. Be healthy. And until tomorrow, I always say, until tomorrow, goodbye.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. A vote in the Senate's expected with Chris
Barnes. Generally, they're political foes, but shortly, New York's Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo is going to be a guest in the Oval Office with Republican President Trump. The two are going to get together to discuss the coronavirus, the president making the announcement yesterday at the coronavirus briefing.
They're getting it together in New York. A lot of good things are happening in New York, and I think the governor's coming to the Oval Office. Andrew is going to be coming in with some of his people, so we look forward to that.
Another Cuomo in the news. The governor's brother, Chris Cuomo, has finally emerged from his basement after a battle with coronavirus. After spending weeks quarantined there in his basement, the CNN host documented the moment in a video on Instagram yesterday, noting that he had been cleared to come out by the CDC. This is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature, changing the world, one life at a time.
Once you start taking it, if you stop, you realize how much it was helping you because all those pains and stuff start coming back.
I've always felt very tired, and I just don't have any energy, and that's all changed. I can't remember the last time I felt as good as I do now.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
At the American Veterinary Medical Association Annual Convention in Washington, D.C., I spoke with Dr. John Howe, AVMA president, about One Health.
One Health is really a collaboration between physicians and veterinarians or public health officials. For example, in Minnesota, our state public health veterinarian deals with zoonotic diseases, rabies, for example. Animals are sentinels for humans, and humans are sentinels for some infections in animals.
There's more valuable information at avma.org.
A Republican governor who's been very critical of the Trump administration's response to the coronavirus pandemic has secured 500,000 test kits from South Korea. Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, with the help of his wife, First Lady Yumi Hogan, a Korean immigrant.
We convened countless calls nearly every night. Sometimes it seemed like all night, working through language barriers and a 13-hour time difference.
At last evening's coronavirus update at the White House, President Trump was clearly unimpressed.
He needed to go to South Korea. I think he needed to get a little knowledge would have been helpful.
Some governors are already working to roll back coronavirus restrictions. The states of Georgia, Florida, Minnesota, Tennessee, Texas, and Wisconsin will be easing those restrictions effective the 1st of May. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has just said he thinks a deal is at hand for a small business relief package, and this is USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
President Trump is temporarily halting immigration into the U.S. amid the COVID-19 outbreak. The president saying on Twitter that his executive order will protect American jobs. The president previously suspended travel from China and Europe. More than 42,000 people have now died in the U.S. from the respiratory illness. It looks like airlines will be keeping employees during the coronavirus pandemic. The Treasury Department says agreements have now been reached between passenger air carriers and the Trump administration, agreements that will go through the payroll support program to keep paying workers during the crisis. That includes Allegiant, American, Delta, Southwest, Spirit, and United Airlines. South Korea's government says there is no indication that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is in grave condition after a CNN report suggested that that was the case. A spokesman for the South Korean president says that there's been no unusual movement inside North Korea in recent days. CNN had cited a U.S. official who said there were reports of Kim being in dire health and that he was being constantly monitored, with the possibility that he might not be able to continue to lead that country. You can always find us online. We're at usaradio.com. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Attention gardeners, if you need to grow nutritionally dense vegetables or medicinal herbs this year, listen, because a bioactive super
provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide.
This is a special edition of the Mike Gallagher Show, Coronavirus in America.
I'm going to start here in the state of New York with antibody testing. This will be the first true snapshot of what we're really dealing with.
Governors across the country are looking forward to phase one and announcing plans for an economic resurgence. It's critical to continue the medical war while reopening the economy in a safe and responsible fashion.
As we face this national emergency pandemic, now's the time for knowledge and clarity. This is the place to get it.
You know, this is not about Democrats, Republicans. This is about a thing that hit our country, the likes of which has never happened to us before.
We have enough testing capacity today for every state in America to go to phase one, if they meet the other criteria.
2020 is definitely going to be one for the history books. And as we take it all in, we know that we'll get through this together. We're America. And now, here's Mike.
I made it a point to reach out to some of my progressive friends last night because I was really, really impacted by watching a few minutes of CNN and MSNBC. Governors from South Carolina to Georgia, Tennessee, and maybe 20, 21, 22 more states are trying to figure out how to carefully and intricately open certain businesses with restrictions, but begin to try to crack open the economy a bit. And it is a difficult, complicated process. We do still, of course, have coronavirus cases in America, and this is no game. This is not an exercise. This is not a drill. This is real. It's very real. And yet there are people that I hear from daily who are at the end of their rope. They're literally about to throw in the towel. No money, depleted their savings, no discernible job prospects, and they're in trouble. We got a lot of Americans in trouble. And so I was watching some of these anchors, Don Lemon on CNN, Rachel Maddow, MSNBC, of course, railing against the president, railing against these governors, railing against any decision to open right now. We got to stay shut. Got to stay shut. Got to stay safe. You got to stay locked in your home. You cannot go to work. You cannot pass go. You cannot collect $200. And I kept wondering, well, what's your plan, Rachel? What's your alternative, Don? What would you, how long? And I mean this. And when I called these people I know who are to the left, I really wanted them to, and some of whom are absolutely in dire straits. I said to them, what would you do? When would you open? And I'm trying to say this in a respectful way. When would you open? Tell me how that works, what that looks like. One of them, who is in bad shape financially, said, I get it. I totally get it. We can't stay shut forever. Another one pointed out that we should try to wait until there's a vaccination. And I told her the vaccination is supposed to come no sooner than 18 months from now. She literally said to me, well, then 18 months, I guess, is about right. And I kind of laughed. I said, you think people can stay in their homes without any income, without a job, without any means of survival for another year and a half? And she sort of nervously laughed and said, I guess that isn't realistic, is it? And of course, the truth is, when you have that kind of conversation with somebody, there's no answer to this. There's no easy answer. The fact is, here's what the president said about opening in a safe and reasonable fashion. Is there a way to do this intricately? Is there a way to do this carefully? They're trying. And of course, it's southern states, so automatically you're going to have the normal anti-South bigotry and condemnation that is in the DNA of the mainstream media. Again, states like Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, trying to figure out how do we crack the door open a little bit, let some of these folks get back to work. Here's what the president said about waging the medical war against the dreaded coronavirus while reopening the country.
Following the release of our reopening guidelines, governors across the country are looking forward to phase one and announcing plans for an economic resurgence. We're going to have a resurgence at a time when millions of American workers and families are struggling with the financial consequences of the virus. It's critical to continue the medical war while reopening the economy in a safe and responsible fashion. During this time, Americans must maintain strict vigilance and continue to practice careful hygiene, social distancing, and the other protective measures that we have outlined and that everybody's become very familiar with. We continue to be encouraged that many of the areas hardest hit by the virus appear to have turned the corner.
Now, does that sound like an unreasonable thing for the president to say? If you hate this president, did you hear anything unreasonable there? If so, you may want to look in the mirror and check yourself. Dr. Birx was asked about the beaches starting to reopen. South Carolina trying to open, I guess, the boat ramps, starting to gradually figure out how to let some people get back to making a living and to putting food on their family's table. And I thought, again, for all the hatred that is directed towards President Trump, hasn't been a lot of hatred directed to Dr. Birx. So I wonder what the Trump haters have to say about this.
To open some stores with restrictions, but they just told my colleague Natasha Chen that they have not achieved that criteria in the White House guidelines about the downward trajectory for 14 days. So shouldn't they not be reopening stores today?
We have asked every governor to follow the guidelines, just as we've asked every American to follow the guidelines put out by the president. But each of the governors can decide for themselves whether they've reached specific guidelines in specific areas. I had a question, I think, on Saturday about Jacksonville and their beaches. So I did spend about 5 hours going to every state website, and I will tell you that the Florida Department of Health website is extraordinary, and this is what every Department of Health should have, because when you go to that website, you can see that most of the cases are in southern Florida, in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Broward County area. And if you look in Jacksonville, they had less than 20 cases per day and less than 800 in 4 weeks. And so these are the kinds, when you inform the public and give them the information that they need, then they can make decisions along with the local government and governors. So I'm not going to say specifically with South Carolina because I don't know their specific website right now, and I don't talk about data unless I've seen it myself. But I know from Jacksonville that they had less than 20 cases a day. And so this is how we need to start informing the community.
I am praying for a day when we can try to look at this collectively and stop being at each other's throats politically. I mean, it's tough. It's an election year, and there's a lot of rough things being said back and forth. But there was some news from the president's task force briefing yesterday that I thought, frankly, was pretty encouraging. And it was an announcement that the Governor Cuomo of New York, who has sparred with the president a lot. They're both feisty New Yorkers. Cuomo has admitted that. I've seen him interviewed, and he said, listen, we're both New Yorkers. We talk bluntly. You come at me, I go at you. You go at me. Here, the president announcing yesterday that Cuomo and Trump are going to meet in the White House.
I want to draw your attention to Governor Cuomo's remarks during his press conference today. He said the president is right. The state's testing is up to the states to do, which will implement the tests and logistically coordinate the tests. We have about 300 labs in New York, and they're great labs, actually. And it's my job to coordinate those 300 labs. I think the president's right when he says that the states should lead, and the governor's they're getting it together in New York. A lot of good things are happening in New York, and I think the governor's going to come in to see us tomorrow. He's coming to the Oval Office tomorrow afternoon. Andrew is going to be coming in with some of his people.
Governor Cuomo said last week when they were kind of in the thick of their back and forth, I extend my hand in cooperation and what was the other word he used? Cooperation and something else. But saying this is not a time to fight, and it's really not. This isn't a time to bicker. This isn't a time to battle. This is a time to try to get America through what is one of the worst crises, if not the worst crisis we've ever seen. We're in the ReliefFactor.com studios. Welcome back to the kitchen. We are working from home like millions and millions of people are in their homes, some working, many not. And that's the tough question here. What is that balance, and what does this look like? And I'm going to ask you a question I've been asking, and I will continue to ask, to the Rachel Maddows and the Don Lemons of the world who are denigrating the states that are trying to reopen. When would you have us open? And that's not rhetorical. When would you do it? A month? 6 months? When the virus is gone? Okay, that may be in a couple of years. How does that look for you? Please tell me. Please let us know. 1-800-655-MIKE. Press 1 to come on air with us. Press 2 to leave a voicemail message, or leave us a text message on the MyPillow text line, which is also 800-655-6453. I hope you join us. Welcome in to the Mike Gallagher Show.
style that shows me. No one leaving now. You know I believe in how.
I feel about animals. I am a dog lover. Let me tell you about Delta Rescue. Delta stands for dedication and everlasting love to animals. Its founder, Leo Grillo, left Hollywood 40 years ago to devote his life to saving animals that have been abandoned in the wilderness. Delta is the largest no-kill care-for-life sanctuary in the world. They're home to 1,500 rescued dogs, cats, and horses. Now, by being part of the Delta mission, you're the difference between life and death for so many animals. Now, Delta is giving you a special gift. It's called The Rescuer. It's the award-winning documentary film about Grillo's 2-year-long rescue of a family of 21 dogs that were abandoned in the wilderness. The Rescuer is yours to watch free when you go to deltarescue.org/Gallagher. deltarescue.org/Gallagher. You'll also be able to receive information on Delta's tax-saving estate planning. deltarescue.org/Gallagher. Learn how to grow your estate and make your legacy work for the animals. deltarescue.org/Gallagher.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've had a lot of really great days back to back, which has been a huge blessing. Even my doctor told me, because they asked me to bring everything in that I take on a daily basis, he was very encouraged by seeing what I was taking, and he said he didn't care how many I had. He said it's food. And the form that it's in was something that he was very, because he's an avid learner, and he's always researching, and he's always excited to see new things. And he told me this would be good. This will help you immensely with the nutrition that you need.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive the special radio offer by using discount code MikeG.
Did you ever think drinking a cup of coffee could be something that is so special that it'll impact the lives of our brave military families? Introducing Honor Bound Coffee, brought to you by the same father and son team who introduced Relief Factor, the incredible pain relief product, to the world. Honor Bound Coffee is, first of all, the best tasting coffee you'll ever drink. Light, medium, bold, decaf, beans, or ground, doesn't matter. You'll see how great this coffee tastes. But here's what's so special. Here's what's practically magical. 100% of the profits from Honor Bound Coffee go directly to military families. The first organization that will benefit is the Great Semper Fi Fund. If you're frustrated with where big corporations give their money, if you'd like to make a difference in a military family's life, order Honor Bound Coffee. Get started today. Buy one bag, get the second bag free as an introductory offer. HonorBoundCoffee.com. It's all one word. HonorBoundCoffee.com. That's HonorBoundCoffee.com. Coffee with a purpose.
Mike Gallagher.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Fierce Nachawati with principal office in Dallas, Texas is responsible for the content in this ad. Attention women. If you or a loved one used talcum powder for at least 4 years and were then diagnosed with advanced stages of ovarian cancer or metastatic ovarian cancer before the age of 75, listen closely. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call 800-991-4422. Time is limited to file a claim and we'll have to pull your medical records. You must have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer within the last 10 years. You need an attorney on your side fighting for your rights. Call 800-991-4422. One of the leading manufacturers of talcum powder has been ordered to pay millions of dollars in claims to the families of women who died of ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one used talcum powder for at least 4 years and were diagnosed with advanced stages of ovarian cancer or metastatic ovarian cancer that moved to other organs within the last 10 years, don't wait. Call 800-991-4422. That number again, 800-991-4422. Call 800-991-4422. Call right now.
Cars today are like a computer on wheels, but you can't fix any of the new features yourself. So when something breaks, it could cost a fortune, and now is not the time for expensive repairs. That's why you need CarShield. CarShield has affordable protection plans that can save you thousands for a covered repair, including computers, GPS, electronics, and more. CarShield understands payment flexibility is a must. Plans are customizable and as low as $99 a month. No long-term contracts or commitments. Plus, you get to pick your favorite mechanic or dealership to do the work, and CarShield takes care of the rest. They also offer complimentary 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours is being fixed. CarShield is America's #1 auto protection company. For as low as $99 a month, you can protect yourself from surprises and save thousands. Call 800-CAR-6000 and mention the code Gallagher, or visit carshield.com and use the code Gallagher to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code Gallagher. A deductible may apply.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, there is somebody who makes a whole bunch of money and thinks about the little people, and that's Donald J. Trump. People like Rachel, it's character. It has nothing to do with the money. She's got the character that doesn't understand the little people and doesn't care. That's the problem.
I just feel that people over 65, like myself, stay quarantined, and the ones that have conditions that may get the virus stay quarantined, and allow these people to go work for their families. I'm retired. I'm not working. Let the others go. We'll stay quarantined. That's how you use your head, Nancy Pelosi, with all that ice cream.
Let them eat ice cream, said Nancy. What a spot. I was just talking to I just got a text from my buddy Mark Davis in Dallas. See, I don't think he saw it until recently. He just flipped out. What a spot for the ages. It's a political spot that juxtaposes Pelosi standing in front of her $24,000 refrigerator. I don't even know if that's true. I can't even imagine spending $24,000. How do you spend $24,000 on a refrigerator? And she's got 2 of them. She needs 2. And filled, stocked with gourmet ice cream, saying, yep, they wanted more money for that paycheck protection program. I don't think so. She said it in front of the refrigerators. I don't think I realized that the I don't think so came from the refrigerators. Wow. I mean, tone deaf much? What do Americans, honestly, if you're a registered Democrat and you vote Democrat, what do you say about your party's leadership literally saying, I'm eating ice cream while people are starving? This spot, I've never seen anything like it. Let me just play it quickly for you, because if you haven't seen it or heard it, it is as bad. This is from the Trump campaign, but this is as brutal as anything you'll ever see in a political year. And this is an election season. There's no question. I don't like politicizing a virus, and I want Americans, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, I want you safe, I want you healthy, and I want you to work. Nancy Pelosi, not so much.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi, what are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate candy.
Thousands have been